seconds to go. For Neiman for three for the win, and got it!
Wilmus a blast and a goal, and the Orioles win it!
The front row, Zimnevsky down, and that's it! Armstrong, it's going to state.
And here's a drive to left center field. Williams drifting over. He's got it! Park Center pulls off the upset.
And welcome to Parade Stadium. There's the storyline from Game 1. Benilde forcing a Game 2 for the Section 5 3A baseball title. The number 2 seed Benilde St. Margaret's Red Knights and the Maple Grove Crimson. Huge comeback for Benilde Drew in Game number 1 as they pull out a 9-7 win after trailing 7-1. Now the question is there momentum that carries over, or do you wipe the slate clean as you do on the scoreboard with everybody mentally?
Well, I'm sure there's some kind of a momentum that carries over for Benilde, but I think both teams coming in knew that if they did get to this point, Maple Grove still has their second pitcher. Benilde St. Margaret's has to go with their third pitcher. I don't know. I mean, it's tough to say after such a great game. It's such a different game from the final 2 innings of that first game compared to the first 5. I mean, you see Benilde not doing a lot in the first 5 innings, and then they start to take some risks and they make things happen, kind of like what Maple Grove was doing early in the game.
I think as the game wears on, probably we'll settle into a routine like we did in the first game where you kind of throw out that first game after a while. The first inning or two, there's still a little buzz, I think, for Benilde St. Margaret's, obviously, with that comeback. They know they can do it. They know they can hit against good pitchers.
I think we're going to see a lot more intensity in this game, knowing, I mean, a trip to the state tournament is on the line here. I mean, it was in the first game for Maple Grove, but the end of the season could have been for Benilde, but they came back and they fought through it. And these teams have a little rivalry going now that they had that close game, and Maple Grove wasn't able to come through, and Benilde was able to pull it out. I think we're going to see a pretty intense game here in the second game tonight.
All right, as expected, Kyle Hankin, who finished Game 1 on the mound for Maple Grove, will start. Matt Nelson getting the call for Benilde here in Game number 2. This one will decide it. Section championship game on the line next year. Benilde St. Margaret's and Maple Grove here from Parade Stadium. Stay with us.
Here's a heads up on what you'll find at Channel 12's website, 12.tv.
It's where you get recent local news stories.
And a link to AccuWeather for up-to-the-minute forecasts.
Keep up with your city's government and click on links to each of them.
See who's on your favorite shows this week or who will be on in coming weeks.
And our schedules for area high school sports.
Plus, there's info for all kinds of great events here in the Northwest suburbs.
Stay connected to your community at 12.tv. And remember to spell it out. 7:30 p.m.
It's a good time for Channel 12 events.
An event like this doesn't happen every day.
But it does happen every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Catch all your favorite local sports and community events from the Northwest suburbs every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday at 7:30 p.m. right here on Channel 12.
Just one station brings you local sports and community events every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Channel 12.
7:30 p.m. It's quite an event.
And welcome back to Parade as Kyle Hankin completes his warm-up tosses here. Maple Grove, they did have a coin flip for Game 2 to find out who would be home, who would be visitor. Maple Grove did win the flip, so they are again the home team as Ryan Collins getting his team into a section championship. Now, Benilde has never been to the state baseball tournament. Maple Grove, though it hasn't been open all that long, they went 4 times in a row. But now it's been a few years back. None of the current players have been, and Darby Carlson was the head coach in all of those appearances and also several as an assistant with Osseo. Here's the lineup for Benilde. Very little change in either team's order for game number 2. You've got Isaac Kranvik leading off in center field, Mike Delorier, the shortstop, hitting second, Adam Weisenberger catching and hitting third, Eric Bigham in left field, Spencer Campion, the second baseman, Brian Morgan at first base, Drew Slominski at third base. Brian Koval is the DH batting for the pitcher Matt Nelson, and Bennett Lang is the right fielder hitting ninth for Benilde St. Margaret's. And defensively for Maple Grove, pretty much the same except for, of course, Hankin on the hill. Jarvis at third, Budarak at short, Murky at second, Norgren at first base, Delgado, Nelson, and Brecky in the outfield, Knutson catching, and Kyle Hankin, the right-hander, on the mound for Maple Grove, who pitched just the last 2/3 of an inning in the last game in the game 1 for the title, if you're just joining us here. Hankin 3-1 record, 1.82 earned run average, 42 in the third innings, only 18 hits allowed. This guy is going to be a college pitcher as well as Lenton, so it's not as though they don't have a good guy going in game 2. First pitch is a fastball that misses for ball 1 here to Isaac Tranvik.
You know, Jay, you said not a lot of change in the lineups, not a lot of change in the strategy, it looks like, for Maple Grove. They start out with that extreme shift for their outfield.
Tranvik 3 out of 5 as a hitter in game number 1, and including a very, very, very big double to knock in 2 in the 7th inning. Delivered the game winner. That one is over for a strike. Hankin, obviously a more relaxed situation here to come in this spot, starting the ball game rather than coming in after Benilde was in the midst of a huge rally in the 7th inning. Tranvik hits it and right at Brecky.
I mean, it paid off that time. It was great scouting to hit right at him. Brecky didn't have to take more than 2 steps, and the shift paid off there. You know, we were talking about Hankin. Last game he gave up a couple runs. I don't know. I think we're going to see a different pitcher here. He's able to take control from the start of the game and be able to work at his own pace with nobody on base.
Delorier 2 for 5 in that first game. Breaking ball misses, and actually it was a strike. Strike 1. Actually, the runs too that Hankin gave up were charged to Lenton after he came in. But yeah, that's a tough spot to bring a guy in. It's not the same as a major, you know, obviously you're a high school kid, not a major leaguer or anything anyway, but you're also not a guy who works relief all the time and who's been pitching regularly. And it's a tough spot. You know, one thing that will be adjusted a little bit too, Drew, that you know, you don't want it to be a big factor in the game, but the umpires shift positions for game 2. Strike zone, they'll have to kind of get used to maybe perhaps a little bit of a different one.
Yeah, especially late in the game, we saw the strike zone kind of expand on the width part of the plate. It was going a little outside and a little inside. They were calling more strikes, and now the hitters will have to adjust to this umpire strike zone.
Fouled away by Delorier. Does not seem to be anywhere near as much wind as there was at the start of game 1 either. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. Sometimes when it gets still, it means the storm's coming. Knocked down to short. Budarak up with it. Firing across, not in time. Delorier beats it out for an infield hit.
Tough play for Budarak. The ball was hit pretty solid, right at him. If he comes in a couple steps, he might misplay it, but good hustle by Delorier to get down the first baseline and get the first runner on base for Benilde St. Margaret's.
Throw is in the dirt. Good pick by Norgren, but call it a base hit, although, you know, I think it's definitely a base hit, but at the same time, if you're Maple Grove, you're still kind of thinking that's an out you really have to get. Weisenberger is the hitter, and he takes a strike. Weisenberger, yet another hitter. I mean, you look down that lineup, I guess when you put 16 hits on the board, probably most of the guys had at least some part of the offense, and Weisenberger was 2 for 5 in that game 1 come from behind win. I'll tell you, when we talked earlier about Wall's numbers and Lenton's numbers, the old ERAs took a bit of a beating there. Lenton charged with 9 runs in that first game, and Wall only lasted 2 innings for Benilde.
Yeah, before the game, we mentioned how both pitchers came into the game with an ERA, a sub-1 ERA, and that's not, you know, how some pitchers get sub-1 ERAs is just a few innings pitched, but they were their number 1 pitchers for both teams all season long.
Would be a little interesting to see if Wall might come back and pitch some in this game too, or maybe he didn't feel, you know, maybe there was something bothering him a little bit in terms of his arm in game 1. Benilde hoping maybe that he won't be needed, but might be available. Pitch missing up high.
Seen a lot of breaking balls here early on by Hankin, and the first couple batters they were in the strike zone. That one a little high.
Runner going, pitch high. Knudsen comes up throwing, and no. Murky played the ball on a short hop and tried to get the tag in all at once, but Delorier is able to steal second.
That's a great stolen base. Knudsen, about as good of a pitch you can get to throw out a runner, but the short hop gave Murky a little trouble, and the runner was able to get in safely.
Weisenberger fouling it back. Weisenberger will step out as Hankin rubbing up a new baseball here. Benilde trying to set the tone and get one early here. Delorier at second, one out. And he smokes it into left field. This should score a run. Delgado's throw will be cut off, or get by the cutoff man actually, as around to score is Delorier, and it's 1-0 Benilde.
It was interesting. Maple Grove let that ball go through. Weisenberger with a great hit. I'm surprised he didn't try and take advantage and go to second base, but he got the job done getting that base runner in. And it was a solid hit ball, and the run comes in easily.
And Delorier, a little collision with Knutson, who was moving to try and get the ball there, but no harm done. Bigham is the hitter. Alex Zeman running at first base, courtesy runner for the catcher Weisenberger. Bigham, the one big bat, pardon the pun there, who was fairly quiet in game one, although he did have one hit in that big 7th inning and came around to score to start the rally, so he still played a big part in that comeback, in that 1 inning anyway, and fouls this one out of play.
Yeah, we really didn't see a lot from him in the first game, but still, he was a big part of their lineup. They still have to worry about him. Every pitch they throw, he might be able to get a hold of one.
Curveball back up the middle. That'll get through for a base hit. It bounced off the mound. Zeman a turn, and now he'll hang on as he picks up his third base coach Collins. And Benilde picking up where they left off in game one here.
Much different start to the game for Benilde St. Margaret's. Last game they didn't get a run on the board until the 3rd inning. This game they get 2 on the board so far in the first. 1 on the board, I'm sorry. But 2 runners on with one out so far, and another good hitter at the plate in Spencer Campion.
Pitch is high and into Campion. He was 1 for 4 in that first game, a double in the 6th, and scored a run which started a rally, which was also important. I mean, it wasn't just the 7th inning rally, it was the 4 runs they pulled within 7-5. It is a 4-run 6th inning. Back up the middle, flag down by Hankin. He'll throw to third, get the force there. They're going to throw across, and not a good idea there. That one will skip by. And holding at third on the play will be Bigham. There was really no chance to get an out there, and not a good decision to throw that one.
Great play by Hankin to field that ball. And Maple Grove's pretty lucky that ball did not get away further. It hit the fence, and it could have gone out of play, but sharp grounder right back to Hankin, makes the quick decision to go to third. Would have been a nice play if they got it, but don't try too hard. It looks like they had a chance, but the ball was down in the dirt.
Throwing error on Jarvis to allow Bigham to get to third. And Campion to second.
And it's important for Maple Grove to remember, I mean, if they're able to get this out here, that play, there's no harm at all. I mean, the runners move up, but they don't score. There's no hurt at all.
Fastball over for a strike. Yeah, looking back at that one, you know, you'd like to get the lead runner, but at the same time, turning 2 going second to first is a lot easier to do. And you know, you say maybe they should have gone that route. Lifted to left field, and Delgado, a long run. Actually, will be the shortstop. Budarak will come out to make the play, and a nice catch it is. Benilde done in the first inning. They do get 1 run on 3 base hits. 1 error committed by Maple Grove, and a couple left aboard. After a half inning, it's Benilde 1, and Maple Grove getting set to come to the plate. Here is the lineup for Coach Carlson. Again, not much change to this one either. Corey Nelson, the center fielder, leading off. Lenton is still batting as the DH here in game 2. Knudsen catching, hitting third. Murky at second base. Wyatt Delgado in left field. Jeff Jarvis, the third baseman, Eric Norgren at first, Matt Buderak the shortstop, and Mitch Brecky the right fielder for Maple Grove. And defensively for Benilde St. Margaret's, again, pretty consistent lineup for both these teams, not only tonight but throughout the sections. Drew Slominski at third, Mike Deloria at short, Spencer Campion at second, Brian Morgan is the first baseman, Eric Bigham in left, Isaac Krenvik in center, Bennett Lang in right field, Adam Weisenberger is the catcher. And getting the call on the hill is the left-hander Matt Nelson for Benilde. He is 4-0, a 1.82 earned run average, 27 innings pitched, 16 hits, 7 walks, 21 strikeouts. So like with Maple Grove, they've got more than just 1 or 2 good pitchers. Nelson obviously has done a pretty good job, but has not pitched nearly as much of late as a couple of the other guys, Morgan and also Wall.
You know, Jay, we noticed on both teams' lineups not a lot of change, and I think that's very important at this point. You know, you might want to say Maple Grove should make some adjustments, but both teams are solid top to bottom, and there aren't really any holes in their outfield or their infield, and it's important to keep that lineup so you don't hurt anybody's, you know, they don't start thinking too much and one player doesn't start trying too hard. And I think both these teams know that this is what they played with all year, and that's what they're going to put out in the field.
Now, the one thing for Maple Grove that, you know, I thought there was a slight possibility that Lenton would play in the infield, but he threw an awful lot of pitches in game 1, for one. Also, Buderak's been playing so well at short and everything, so no real need to change up in that regard. Nelson lifting it up foul, and of course you can keep Lenton in the lineup as a hitter, and that's what they do. Nelson versus Nelson here to start it out. Corey Nelson for Maple Grove had a big game in the first championship game, 2 for 3, including his first home run of the year, a 2-run blast.
And the next time he came up, I think we saw him lay down a sacrifice bunt, which says a lot about him as a hitter.
Hit the target. Weisenberger was set up outside. Try and see if they can get him to chase. Those are the ones that people groan on, but it was, you know, he hit the glove, but it was set up outside.
And they almost had him, but good choice. Stay away from that one.
I'll tell you what, a couple of pretty good catchers here in this game too. Knudsen and Weisenberger. I mean, they're good hitters too, but oh, that one on the inside corner for a called third strike. Nelson is caught looking, and neither guy's a senior, but Knudsen and Weisenberger both pretty solid behind the plate.
You know, a lot of people think that pitch was well inside. They see Nelson kind of lift his arms up, but when you're on the plate as a batter, that doesn't change the strike zone for an umpire.
No, it shouldn't, and that's, you know, the good ones are calling the pitch regardless of where the hitter is.
Yeah, you see it a lot in the major leagues that those batters try and take too much advantage. I mean, you know, a batter like Carl Everett will stand on top of the plate, and he thinks he has the right to do that. And if they throw inside, he doesn't understand why. But I mean, the pitcher still has the right to the plate as well.
Yeah, it does amaze me how many times you'll look at a replay of a guy, you know, sprawling in the dirt and getting up angry, and the pitch is about 2 inches inside, if that. Fouled away by Lenton.
Yeah, I think we got lucky so far with this weather. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's going to rain for quite some time. And
Lenton lifting it out to center. Tranvik didn't have to move much at all, and there are 2 outs. I think an easier sky to deal with right now for the outfielders, probably. I mean, I guess it appears as though they're all in shadow all the way around.
Yeah, it looks like the sun is either behind a cloud or it's below the horizon.
Kyle Knudsen stepping up here for Maple Grove, and boy, he hits a rope, but Tranvik is positioned well again. Very solid hit, but right at Isaac Kranvik. No runs, no hits, and no one left on for the Crimson. We've played an inning. It's 1-0 Benilde.
Maple Grove in the first, no runs, no hits, no errors, no.
Tune in for Northwest Cities on Channel 12. It's a show about shopping, working out, music, fresh produce, having a nice fire in the backyard, going for a swim, a night out with your neighbors, cleaning up the neighborhood, redeveloping the neighborhood, playing a little golf, improving your drive to work, volunteering, picking up a good book. Really, Northwest Cities is a show about everything that is your life right here in the Northwest suburbs. Northwest Cities, right after 12 news at 22 and 52 minutes past the hour, only on Channel 12.
Having Channel 12 news to check in with on a daily basis is wonderful because they keep you up to date on the things that are happening in the city, things that are important to our citizens. And then they're good about covering City Hall and the events that happen here. If there's a special report from the police department, they're there right away when we need that too. You know, and if we're watching this on a daily basis, 20 minutes, half an hour out of your day watching Channel 12 news is going to be a benefit for you and for your city too.
Welcome back. Cloudy skies, but things, as Drew mentioned a moment ago, looking pretty decent so far. Game 1 was played, and Game 2, so far so good weather-wise. Drew Slominski, Bryant Koval, Bennett Lang, the bottom third of the order for Benilde here in this second inning. And Kyle Hankins starting Slominski with a strike. And Drew was 2 for 4 in the middle of both rallies in the 6th and 7th innings in Game 1. He had a single in the 6th and a run scored, and then doubled in a run and scored in the 7th. And I know you kind of like his name, so you probably pulling for him a little bit here.
Yes.
Not, I didn't mean Slominski either, Drew.
I think it means strong, manly, if I remember correctly.
0-2 pitch. One hopper there from Hankin. Hankin going with the playoff beard look here, apparently. High chopper. This will be a tough chance. Barehanded by Budarak, and he throws him out. Nice play.
He is having one heck of a night here. First game, he made play after play, big play after big play. And how often do you see a shortstop go for that and just let that slip out of their hand or follow it up with a bad throw? But that throw was chest high to the first baseman. I think that's all he could do. I mean, that ball's got a lot of spin on it. I mean, if you got to catch that thing clean to make that play.
Bryant Koval, the DH, is the hitter. Looks at ball 1. Curveball up the middle. Murky knocks it down, throws. Did he hang on to the base? He did. Eric Norgren able to keep his foot on, and they get the out. Murky dribbled it a little bit, but got rid of it in a hurry, and close enough to the bag for Norgren to still make the catch.
Yeah, it was a nice play. Nice recovery. He bobbled it. It popped out of his glove, but he knows, playing as a second baseman, that he's got a little bit more time than a shortstop would moving away from the first base. And he makes a strong throw and a great play by the first baseman to get that out.
Bennett Lang, the right fielder, a little late on that one and drives it down past first. Curveball nips the inside corner for strike 2.
Good looking breaking ball there, dropped straight down. He seems to be going to that quite a bit early on in the game. I'm not sure if he's confident in his fastball or if he's just that confident in his curveball.
Little tapper wide there toward the Maple Grove dugout, and
good play. Good play. Put him on the roster.
Coach Breifogel taking a little tumble off the bucket. Oh, Nelly. Oh, well, he did hold on, though.
Proper execution, though. Keep that body right in front of it.
Out of the miss. And Knutson applying the tag in a 1-2-3 second for Hankin. No runs, no hits, no one left on for the Red Knights. Go to the bottom of the second, 1-0 Benil.
This looks like a job for the Channel 12 Sports Jam guys, Super John and Jay Wonder.
To the Jam car, Jay Wonder.
Able to cover all of your favorite area high school sports in a single show, the Sports Jam guys bring you the most heroic highlights and incredibly intense interviews every week, Monday through Wednesday at 3:30, 7 and 10.
Holy home run, Super John.
Join Super John and Jay Wonder every week on Sports Jam, Monday through Wednesday, for the continuing adventures of the Sports Jam guys, only on Channel 12.
You're watching Channel 12.
Sorry to interrupt, but I've got great news. Put an iWatch 12 window cling on your car and win prizes from Broadway Pizza in Robbinsdale and the Grand Rios Indoor Water Park Hotel of Brooklyn Park. Experience the twists and turns of Minnesota's largest indoor water park. The Grand Rios Hotel also has restaurants, banquet facilities, and a huge arcade. Get your cling from Channel 12 staff by calling our studios or going to 12.tv. And by the way, thanks for watching.
Aaron Murkey stepping in to lead off the bottom of the second for Maple Grove, and he looks at ball one. Murkey, Delgado, Jarvis, the 4-5-6 hitters against Matt Nelson, who had a 1-2-3 first for Benilde. Exactly what they had in mind here, looking to get a well-pitched game if they can in game two. Murkey popping one to short left. Delorier coming out, Bigham on, and Delorier will make the catch for out number one. Normally that's the outfielder's ball if he can get there, but it was Delorier got there and got camped under at first.
Yeah, it's a tough play. You got to have good communication. You got to be loud, and the outfielder has the right to call off the infielder, but if the infielder's there and they're loud, they will catch that ball most of the time.
And remember a few minutes ago when we said sun was behind the clouds. Right now it's very difficult. It's come back out. And in right field and first and second base especially, I think it's could be pretty tough right at the moment for probably another half hour or so. Delgado tagging one pretty deep to left. Bigham going back, and he will make the catch. He couldn't have been more than a couple strides in front of the ivy out there and left. Delgado giving one a ride, but he is out.
Yeah, Bigham at first he didn't think that ball was going to get that far, but then he hustled back to the fence and judged how much ground he had and made a great catch standing at the base of the fence there.
Jeff Jarvis, the hitter now for Maple Grove. First pitch over for strike one.
Yeah, that sun could come into play in a lot of different ways.
Jarvis was 1 for 2 along with a sacrifice and a walk in the first championship game. Again, if you're just joining us, this is game 2 for the title in Section 5 3A baseball. Benilde St. Margaret's needing to win 2 tonight. They got it accomplished in game 1, beating Maple Grove 9-7 after trailing 7-1 with only 2 innings to go. And now in game 2, it's Benilde leading it 1-0. It seemed like for a while in this tournament, Drew, we had a run of 2 games for the title, but then lately there have been some just 1 games. Last year Armstrong knocking Maple Grove out in just 1 game, and looked like it was going to be that way here this year, but Benilde wasn't having any of it. They came back and 4-run 6th inning and then a 4-run 7th as well.
Yeah, a lot of people expected these two teams to get to this point, and a lot of people expected Maple Grove to overpower a team like Benilde, but I don't think.
That one will get too far out of the reach of a long run there for Morgan.
I don't think a lot of people have seen this Benilde team play a lot, and it's a lot of people just didn't pay attention to them during the regular season until they cracked the top 10. And I mean, they played great all year long, getting more than 20+ wins. And they proved that they have the talent as they got to this championship game. And
cut and a miss there. And down on strikes goes Jarvis in a 1-2-3 inning again for Nelson. No runs, no hits, and no one left on base through 2 innings. It's 1-0 Red Knights.
Dear Journal. Today was another great day in the northwest suburbs. I visited a new business, met interesting people, took a closer look at the community, and went about town attending events and activities.
Wait a minute. This is way too good to keep to myself. I have to tell everyone.
Community Journal is your show to find out what's new in our community. It's on Channel 12 every day at 8 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 6 p.m. Community Journal, your tour guide for what's happening in our community.
Maybe we don't need to tell you, because you know Channel 12 is community television. That's right. Every day when you watch us, you see your community in action here in the northwest suburbs. The big game at your high school, the local business down the block, a new development in your city, or what happened in the day's news. For your convenience, all of our shows are repeated throughout the day, right here on Northwest Community Television's Channel 12. We are what community television is all about.
We head to inning number 3 here in the Section 5 championship. Isaac Krenbick, Mike Delorier, Adam Weisenberger, the top of the order here for Benilde St. Margaret's against righty Kyle Hankin of Maple Grove. Strike one. Krenbick flied to right field his first time up. A ball that ended up right at Mitch Brecky, who was again shifted way over to right center. Chopper over the mound. That one's going to get through. No, actually it'll be knocked down at least by Murky, but no chance to make a play, obviously, and a base hit for Krenbick.
Nice play by Murky to get over there and cover that much ground, but I don't think he would have had a play if he came up with it cleanly.
No, no chance. I don't think he even would have made a throw here. But you never give up on a ball like this. You just never know. Delorier is the batter. Mike had a single and came around to score the Benilde run.
Yeah, Maple Grove again has that extreme shift, expecting Delorier not able to pull the ball. They don't expect him to pull the ball here, but if he does, it could lead to trouble.
And we were talking between games a little bit up here. The feeling was maybe that they're trying to goad Delorier into trying to pull the ball, make him do what he doesn't want to do, and maybe he's like Ted Williams and stubborn. Although with him it was the other way, he pulled everything. Back up the middle, off Hankin's glove. Murky up with it. He'll step on second. Throw to first, though, is wide. And aboard safely is Delorier. So 1-4 on the putout of Krenbick. Delorier on a fielder's choice. No error on Murky.
Another great play by Murky. He's covering a lot of ground at second base. The ball just goes off Hankin's glove, but Murky's able to field it cleanly and get that out at second. You know, Sun's making for a nice sight for the fans, but that ball's coming through a lot of different shades as it starts in the pitcher's hand with that light on it, and then it comes through that shadow.
Weisenberger, the hitter, knocked down to second. Murky to Budarak for one and a double play. Crimson turn it 4-6-3 to get out of the inning. No runs, one base hit, no errors, and none left aboard. We'll go to the bottom of the third. It's still 1-0, Benilde St. Margaret.
Here's a heads up on what you'll find at Channel 12's website, 12.tv.
It's where you get recent local news stories.
And a link to AccuWeather for up-to-the-minute forecasts.
Keep up with your city's government and click on links to each of them.
See who's on your favorite shows this week or who will be on in coming weeks.
And our schedules for area high school sports.
Plus, there's info for all kinds of great events here in the northwest suburbs.
Stay connected to your community at 12.tv. And remember to spell it out. 7:30 p.m.
It's a good time for Channel 12 events.
An event like this doesn't happen every day.
But it does happen every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Catch all your favorite local sports and community events from the Northwest suburbs every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday at 7:30 p.m. right here on Channel 12.
Just one station brings you local sports and community events every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Channel 12.
7:30 p.m. It's quite an event.
Welcome back to Parade Stadium as you get a look at, that's the storage bin, the top of the dugouts here. Lots of liquid for the guys tonight on a warm evening. It's cooled down a little bit since game one started, I think, but still definitely a draining experience for both these teams. A doubleheader here in the heat and humidity. Eric Norgren, Matt Buderak, Mitch Brecky will hit the 7, 8, 9 hitters for Maple Grove in their half of the third. Matt Nelson so far 6 up, 6 down for Benilde St. Margaret's.
That's what we saw in the first game. We saw Patrick Lenton do that to Benilde, and they were able to jump out to the lead. And it's a different story here in the second game.
Although, as a pitch comes to Norgren, little tapper down to second. Campion bobbles it. Throw to first is low. And getting on is Norgren, first base runner of the game. That'll be an error on Campion. I was going to say, Drew, that kind of like Lenton, though, in that first game, Nelson, not to take away from the outs he's gotten, but there have been a couple balls that have been hit awful hard. The liner that Knutson had to center, the long fly ball to left field. As you get another look, Campion looked like he took his eye off this one a little bit and then whistled it past Morgan. So it doesn't mean just because they've made outs that they haven't hit some balls solid.
Right. And you saw that start to pay off later in the game.
Buderak squaring, pops it up. Weisenberger gets back and makes the catch. Maple Grove, one of the few times really that they've failed to execute a sacrifice here in this tournament.
Yeah, it's frustrating for a coach to see you practice that all year long for these kind of situations and just drop the bat head just a little bit too much and popped it straight up for Weisenberger.
Mitch Brecky will be the batter. Norgren still at first. First pitch for a strike. Gonna come to first with it.
And you see Bennett laying there, kind of turn his head a little bit. It's tough to see there. And I'm sorry.
Foul tip here by Brecky. Brecky was involved in the offense in game number 1 for Maple Grove. 2 hits and 3 at-bats, scored a couple runs. Rip and a miss, and down he goes. Third strikeout for Nelson. And now it'll be Corey Nelson of Maple Grove getting set to step in.
Nelson.
Nice pitch, keep that up, don't let him make any contact.
Corey Nelson was called out on strikes his first time up. Starts him with a breaking ball for a strike. We've seen pretty much all right-hand pitching until Nelson gets the call here to start game 2 for Benilde, so a little bit of a different look. Not a whole lot of lefties for Maple Grove or Benilde. There's a strike.
Yeah, Matt Nelson seems to have his stuff going extremely well. He's getting his fastball over and his breaking ball is dropping off the table, and it's tough to pick it up.
Runner is going, and this one is hit well to left. It's going to fall in front of Bigham. There could be a play at third again. Here comes the throw. He is out. Maple Grove that time You live by the aggressive base running, you die by it. Bigham cuts him down at third. Norgren is out. So the hit by Nelson goes for naught. No runs in the inning. One hit, one error, and one left aboard. It's 1-0 Benilde.
This looks like a job for the Channel 12 Sports Jam guys, Super John and Jay Wonder.
To the Jam car, Jay Wonder.
Able to cover all of your favorite area high school sports in a single show. The Sports Jam guys bring you the most heroic highlights and incredibly intense interviews every week, Monday through Wednesday at 3:30, 7 and 10.
Holy home run, Super John.
Join Super John and Jay Wonder every week on Sports Jam, Monday through Wednesday, for the continuing adventures of the Sports Jam guys, only on Channel 12.
12 News is an easy way to get information. They replay their broadcasts when it's convenient for you, and they will always be honest and fair in their reporting and do a great job covering cities like Plymouth. And you don't get a lot of the other news media that'll come and talk about the good things going on in the communities. Channel 12 News will often call me here at City Hall to find out what's going on, what's on our agendas, and what's happening in the community. So if you want to know the up-to-date information, Channel 12 News is there to cover it.
Watch 12 News every day.
Here's a look at the play that ended that last half inning. Norgren a gamble, the ball hit in front of him right to the left fielder Bigham, who comes up throwing right on the money to Sleminski, and he is a dead duck. Maple Grove, as we've talked about all throughout not only this evening but this tournament, very aggressive on the bases, and when it doesn't work out for you, it doesn't look so good. I mean, I felt right away that this was not a good play to run on that ball, and Bigham made him pay for it, and now he'll step up to lead off the fourth.
Yeah, the thing about that last play is I think the ball was hit sharply right at him. He didn't have to take any steps. He was coming in towards the base, and it was hit solidly at him, and the ball was just solid right at him. I mean, it wasn't a tough play. It was just execution, and at this part of the season, you expect that execution.
And it was close enough that it was not really a throw that he had to put anything extra on. Just come up throwing, and
that was a perfect one-hop strike right to the third baseman and put the tag down, get out of the inning.
But we can't really be second guessers either. We can't say, hey, great job for being aggressive on the bases when you make it, and terrible job when you don't make it. And once in a while, those things are going to happen. Bigham draws a walk.
We did see that happen in the first game. We saw him take a couple extra bases, and it caused a little problem. And they scored a few runs because of it.
Kind of like when you watch the Twins and Torrey Hunter. There's nights when you go, wow, look at him go, and other times you say, what in the heck are you doing?
And last night it paid off, and yep.
Spencer Campion is the hitter. Looks at ball one. Reached on a fielder's choice his first time up. As you see there, Spencer, the second baseman for Benilde, and Knutson's going to come out and talk to Hankin here quick.
Maybe talking about how they want to pitch to the hitter with the runner on first, and don't let anything get out of control. They got to stay focused and get at least one out here. And he's had the curveball working pretty well early on in the game, and maybe that's what he's telling him to go back to and make that thing snap over the plate.
This one's in the dirt, and it'll get away. Bigham up to second, and let's see, does it get out of play? Yes. But that'll be just moving him up to second. Knutson was conscious of that and started sprinting after, but it turns out it doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah, it's interesting. I would assume the ground rules are different, because he could have easily played that, but obviously that's where the team is obligated to keep their batting equipment.
So runner into scoring position here for Campion. Fastball up high. I think it's safe to say that when they went out for a visit, that's not what Knutson told them to do. How about you throw in the dirt?
With two straight fastballs, but yeah, the first one in the dirt, and it got away from him.
And ball four, Campion drawing a walk.
Darby's going to come out and talk to him and try and calm him down here. Things were going pretty well early on in the game. I mean, it's been a fast-paced game. And remember, he did pitch in that first game a couple innings. And
yeah, it's a little bit of an interesting thing there. You get a look at, looks like Ben Schwann's loosening up. The thing for him, he came into that 7th inning in the first game. You get yourself warmed up, you pitch, a couple, 2/3 of an inning, and then you have about a half-hour, 40-minute wait, and you warm up again and pitch in game 2. It's not necessarily an easy thing to do. I was pretty certain that this was the path they would take, that Hankin would be the starter in game 2, and I think it's
correct,
unquestionably the move to make, but
definitely
it can be a little bit tougher. I mean, I think it's going to catch up to you a little bit as the game wears on, that you've warmed up. I think he did warm up in 2 different innings last game also. Brian Morgan, the hitter for Benilde, takes a strike.
That's a big pitch. Get that. Not only is it the first strike of the batter, but it's first strike in quite a few pitches for him, and he just had to get that one over the plate.
Squares to bunt, and that one is fouled off the backstop.
Be interested to see if they try and do anything risky here. I don't think you would with 2 strikes, but with a 1-0 lead, you might try and make things happen.
They hit into a double play last inning, kind of trying to avoid that, I'm sure, here. Oh, and then that one hits him.
Not what Hankin wanted to do. Up 0-2 in the count.
Curveball that hits him in the middle of the back, so base is full. Morgan takes it between the shoulder blades there. Drew Slominski will be the batter now for the Red Knights. Bounced out to the shortstop his first time up. Bases loaded, nobody out for Benilde, trying to stretch a 1-0 lead. High and tight with that fastball.
Maple Grove brings the corners in. They'll go for the double play up the middle. Pretty obvious that you would do that at this point in the game. But it also opens up the right side of the infield and the left side of the infield. But you just got to hope for a ground ball at the third baseman or at the first baseman so you can get the out at home.
Hankin struggling to throw a strike here. Nowhere to put Slominski. And even though it's right now only 1-0, it's probably going to be a short leash in this game. Hankin shoots a strike in here.
Such a tough pitch to take, but you have to take in that situation. You know the pitcher has to get it over, and he's going to throw one right down the pipe, but you still have to take it.
There's strike 2.
That's a good pitch off the outside part of the plate, a little up.
And a called third strike. Hankin battles back. Slominski taking 3 pitches in a row after he was up 3-0, and it's 1 out.
Huge pitch there for Hankin. After falling behind 3-0, he comes back to get the strikeout. Next 3 pitches were all strikes.
Bryant Koval is the batter. Misses for ball 1. Koval bouncer to second.
I think Hankin's trying to work that outside corner. He's thrown it 3 straight times, and 2 out of 3 have been strikes. It's been pretty much the exact same location.
Koval asking for time here.
Looks like he got a bug in his eye, maybe. That's on a night where all these bugs and mosquitoes and gnats, they start to get you.
Pop back foul and out of play. I noticed the other night, mosquito time has arrived.
Someone's not going to be happy about that.
1-2 from Hankin, misses down and away. Already a pretty key sequence in this game. I mean, we're still pretty early here in the fourth, but bases full. 1 out, no runs in yet though for Benilde. It's still doable to get out of this if you're Maple Grove.
Yeah, this is a huge pitch coming up. Hankin was in pretty good shape after he got up in the count. You know, he bases loaded, no outs, gets the strikeout, comes right back, gets up in the next at batter's count, and now he's got another full count with only 1 out and the bases loaded.
Koval staying alive as he fouls it away. And there's ball 4, and that will bring a run home. 2-0 Red Knights.
That pitch must have been just a tad low. It looked like it was right over the heart of the plate, but must have been just below the knees.
So base is still loaded, 1 out, 2-0 Red Knights. Bennett Lang will hit. He struck out his first time up. Outside for ball 1.
You know, it's so easy to say things are going so great for Benilde after, the past 5 innings. They've been on fire, but the same thing could happen.
That one over for a strike.
As it did to Maple Grove, like late last game. They were in charge, up 7-1, headed into the 6th inning, I believe, and things just fell apart and they lost. And Benilde has a chance to build on their lead here early.
Throw to third. Just back in as Campion, as Jarvis, the ball, and Campion all got there just about the same time. Jarvis stumbling a little bit as he had to catch a tough ball there, and close play, but he's back in.
Yeah, it was a tough play. It was a nice catch by Jarvis just to stop it. He was handcuffed and he just had to make the stop.
Just got a piece of that one to hang in there.
Now let's see if Hankin can finish this one off. Last batter he had the same count, but he was unable to finish the deal. But he can't give him anything easy. He's got to keep continuing to throw that outside fastball and come back with that curveball and keep the batter off balance.
Breaking ball tapped over the mound. Budarak steps on second. Throw to first is in time. Little double pump, but he's still got enough on it to make the throw. And a big double play there for Maple Grove. Benilde does get 1 run. No base hits, no errors, and 1 left aboard. It is 2-0 Benilde, but Maple Grove escaping a jam right here.
Just down the block or around the corner or on the other side of town, there's a new business or maybe even an older business you've heard about and want to know more. Community Journal takes you inside to find out what makes these local businesses tick and what they have to offer you. We also discover what some truly interesting people are up to around your neighborhood and take a closer look at what's happening with your city, plus lots of great stuff happening about town. So tune in and join me, Dave Kaiser, on Community Journal every day at 8, 12:30, and 6 p.m.
You're watching Channel 12.
Sorry to interrupt, but I've got great news. Put an iWatch 12 window cling on your car and win prizes from Broadway Pizza in Robbinsdale and the Grand Rios Indoor Water Park Hotel of Brooklyn Park. Experience the twists and turns of Minnesota's largest indoor water park. The Grand Rios Hotel also has restaurants, banquet facilities, and a huge arcade. Get your cling from Channel 12 staff by calling our studios or going to 12.tv. And by the way, thanks for watching.
We head to the bottom half of the fourth. Patrick Lenton stepping in and leading it off here for Maple Grove, and he looks at strike 1 here from lefty Matt Nelson, who you don't want to jinx him or anything, but he's had a very solid outing through 3 innings. The guy who was kind of their third pitcher. So far, so good. 2 balls and a strike.
We haven't seen Maple Grove have a chance to really get things going. That 1 inning where the runner got thrown out at third, but besides that,
drives it a long way. It's going to be foul and no chance for Bigham to get all the way over.
But besides that 1 inning, Matt Nelson's been having a great game. He's been keeping the runners off base, and if you have no runners on base, you have no chance to make things happen.
And you remember the one runner that they did get to start the inning came on an error too, so just the one hit so far by Nelson is all they've really accomplished against Nelson so far. Driven to left. Bigham drifts back, makes the grab, 1 out. Kyle Knutson will be the hitter. Kyle, he is 0 for 1, but he absolutely tattooed a ball right at Tranvik, the center fielder, the first time up.
It's kind of a bat where you want to be frustrated, but you really can't be. I mean, you hit the ball as hard as you could, but it was just right at someone.
Slow curve in for a strike there from Nelson. And fouled away, 0-2. Knutson hanging in there as he fouls that one away.
He looked a little fooled on that one, but he did a great job to recover and just make contact and with an 0-2 count. That's all you need to do on a pitch that you really weren't able to pick up right away.
Just got a piece. No, held onto by Weisenberger, and there's a strikeout. 1 per inning so far for Nelson. He's had a total of 4 now.
Came inside with the fastball, and he just couldn't turn around on it.
Murky, the hitter. Oh, and he is hit by the pitch. Murky will head down to first. Murky's been hit a couple times in the tournament here, but Wyatt Delgado will be the batter. Those are the kind they don't feel real good, but you did get on base, and that's what you got to remember. That's what you wanted to do.
Yeah, it may leave a little bruise, but it's better than getting hit on the bone, and you end up on base.
Delgado 0 for 1. Hit the ball pretty solid out to left, but caught by Eric Bigham back in inning number 2. Two-0 count to Delgado. And 3-0.
This is where Maple Grove likes to be. If they get this second runner on, they're able to put things in motion. Darby Carlson likes to put his runners in motion. And if he's able to get this second runner on, I think he's going to try and make things happen.
Ball 4. Jarvis will be the batter. Couple on, couple out.
Jarvis.
Lifts it to deep center. Tranvik drifts back, and he'll make the catch. Boy, the ball hit a long way, but Tranvik gets to it, and Maple Grove done in the 4th inning. No runs, no hits, no Benilde errors, and a couple left aboard. Through 4 innings, it's 2-0 Red Knights.
Maple Grove in the 4th, no run.
Tune in for Northwest Cities on Channel 12. It's a show about shopping, working out, music, fresh produce, having a nice fire in the backyard, going for a swim, a night out with your neighbors, cleaning up the neighborhood, redeveloping the neighborhood, playing a little golf, improving your drive to work, volunteering, picking up a good book. Really, Northwest Cities is a show about everything that is your life right here in the Northwest suburbs. Northwest Cities, right after 12 news at 22 and 52 minutes past the hour, only on Channel 12.
7:30 p.m.
It's a good time for Channel 12 events.
An event like this doesn't happen every day.
But it does happen every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Catch all your favorite local sports and community events from the Northwest suburbs every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday at 7:30 p.m. right here on Channel 12.
Just one station brings you local sports and community events every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Channel 12.
7:30 p.m. It's quite an event.
Jay Wilcox, Drew Keogh with you on Channel 12 Sports as we go to inning number 5 of the Section 5 3A Baseball Championship. This is game 2 for the title. Benilde St. Margaret's rallying from 7-1 down with 2 innings to play to win 9-7 in game 1. And the Red Knights leading Maple Grove 2-0 as they try and secure their first ever section championship.
You know, Jay, Maple Grove has to remember to play 1 inning at a time. They're down 2-0 at this point, but they still are the home team, and they have to win these next 3 innings if they want to continue their season.
And Hankin hits Tranvik to start inning number 5. And of course Murky was plunked last inning, and there might be some feeling maybe was this retaliation, but I don't know. That wouldn't, if it is, it's not really the time to be doing it.
Not at all. If it is some kind of retaliation, not at all, especially with the leadoff hitter in the order, and you just don't want to put him on base with a free pass.
Delorier, the batter. Drops down a bunt. Hankin will have to go to first. Oh boy, close play did not get him. Hankin took his time too much there, and Delorier hustling beats it out. First and second and nobody out. A little too nonchalant, I think, for Hankin. He needed to hurry more than he did.
I think he took a quick peek at second and realized that there was absolutely nobody there covering second base, and then he had to change and go to first, and he thought he had more time than he actually did.
Weisenberger, the hitter. Weisenberger had an RBI single the first time up, but then hit into a double play. Hankin throwing to second, and he throws it into center field. Tranvik will move up to third. Delorier stays at first. Throwing error on the pitcher, Hankin. And really, there was nobody all the way to second to cover.
I don't even think he really had a play. I think he was just trying to keep him honest and see what was going on. But they need to keep their composure here, and they can't let more runs get across, because Matt Nilsson is throwing a heck of a game, and they haven't been able to figure him out at the plate. So another run would be a tough hill to climb.
Yeah, really, Benilde, when you look at things up to this point, could easily have more runs than they do. They've hit into a couple double plays. They've had lots of base runners. Runner from first is going, and they'll concede it as he had a huge jump. Delorier in.
He broke before Hankin even made a move to home. I mean, he was, you talked about Torrey Hunter before. It was kind of like what he's been doing all season. I mean, he leads the team in stolen bases, I believe, and probably half of them are just getting amazing breaks on the pitcher.
Infield comes in now for Maple Grove all around. Little flare to center, actually hit a little better than I thought, and that one's going to get away from Nelson, and 2 runs will score. Into second base with a double as Weisenberger, 4-0 Red Knights.
Yeah, Jay, that's one of those fly balls that if it's hit pretty much straight at you and it's hit on a line, it's really tough to judge. And with runners on, second and third, your first move is going to be in, because you want to either cut that second run from scoring or you want to get the runner tagging up. But that ball was tagged, and it was hit pretty well, and he was playing shallow to start with.
Another look at it here is Weisenberger. I honestly did not think this ball, I thought it would probably fall in, but I didn't think it would get over Nelson as much as it did. He got more of that one than I first thought. Either way, it knocks in 2, and Eric Bigham is the batter. Alex Zeman running a courtesy runner for the catcher Weisenberger. And this one in danger of getting away from Maple Grove here in inning number 5. Bigham, single and a walk. Breaking ball for a strike.
Nice pitch there on the outside corner of the plate. Needs a couple more of those here to get out of this inning.
Bigham fouling it.
He left that one up a little bit, but Bigham still wasn't able to pick it up.
Comes back, breaking ball, and knocked down the third base coach, and Collins picks it up cleanly. It sure seems as though the way they want to attack Bigham is with breaking balls, whether it was Lenton or Hankin.
Yeah, the first game they did a great job of keeping his bat pretty quiet, which is a great job in itself. I mean, he led the Metro in RBIs, I believe, this season, and I mean that tells you quite a bit about him as a hitter.
Up high with that curveball.
It seems they're shading him to the right center power alley. They're pinching, you know, Corey Nelson, the center fielder, is playing a little off center field, and Mitch Brecky's playing way off of right field towards right center.
Down low with that one.
Which is a good adjustment. We have seen him, you know, hit a couple deep balls towards that area in this tournament. A few games back, he hit one out towards the 420 sign and ended up with a triple. It would have been a home run pretty much anywhere else.
Bigham is aboard with the walk. And Spencer Campion will be the hitter. Darby Carlson going to call for time here.
You know, I think he has to talk to his team. I don't know if he's necessarily going to make a pitching change here. It doesn't look like he is. I think he's going to tell him, you know, this is just another game. Yeah, the state tournament's on the line here, but we've been doing this all year. We need to stay focused. Don't let errors take us out of this game. We need to continue doing the little things that we've done in the field all year long. Make plays, and then let's get in that dugout and, you know, bring the bats to the plate.
First and second, nobody out for Benilde. They've scored twice in this inning already to lead 4-0. Campion squaring around, and he drops a bunt down. It's a pretty good one. Hankin will have to go to first. Throw, and Norgren just barely able to stay on the bag, so the sacrifice is successful, but Zeman to third, Bigham to second.
Norgren used every inch of his body there just to get that one. He stretched out, lost the bag for a second, but then he found it again. That was a great play to get that out at first.
Brian Morgan, the hitter now for Benilde, a couple into scoring position and still only one out. They'll pull the infield in.
Yeah, this is a tough spot. They have to bring the infield in this spot, but, you know, a ground ball sneaks through. It's going to bring in 2.
And of course, too, with the middle infielders in, Bigham can take about as long a lead as he wants to at second, which means, you know, like you say, a ball that gets through the infield, he's going to score.
Yep. Yeah, Benilde's in great shape to break this one open.
Make it 3-1. corner, full count to Morgan.
Stretching the zone there, testing the umpire, and he got the call at the outside part of the plate.
Morgan fouling it away here. Count staying full. You know, you don't really necessarily want to put a lot of more base runners on, but in some ways having the bases loaded isn't so bad either, because you got the double play in order then.
And you're able to drop your middle infielders back.
Again, a foul.
You know, if you drop the middle infielders back, they might be able to turn that play up the middle and get you out of the inning without even giving up a run. But here you have to bring them in, and if they get it, you know, they pretty much have to bring it home.
And that one will be through for a base hit. One run is in. Here comes run number 2. Throw will skip through, and it is 6-0 Benilde.
You know, Jay, just what we were talking about. I mean, it's a tough spot for Darby Carlson because he has to bring the infield in. But if your second baseman's back in that position, he not only gets the out at first, but Bigham is not going to score on that play if you get the out at first. But you know, down 4-zip, and you haven't been swinging the bats too well, I think you do have to bring the infield in. And that was just a great piece of hitting by Campion there.
And we are going to have a pitching change for Maple Grove as Schwanz will come on and Hankin will head to the dugout here. So Benilde has built the lead now to 6-0. A pitching change. We'll come back with more action from Parade in just a moment.
Here's a heads up on what you'll find at Channel 12's website, 12.tv.
It's where you get recent local news stories.
And a link to AccuWeather for up-to-the-minute forecasts.
Keep up with your city's government and click on links to each of them.
See who's on your favorite shows this week or who will be on in coming weeks.
And our schedules for area high school sports.
Plus, there's info for all kinds of great events here in the northwest suburbs.
Stay connected to your community at 12.tv. And remember to spell it out.
There's the new pitcher, Ben Schwanz, a record of 1-0. He's pitched 9 innings all year, 2.33 earned run average. 9 innings, 11 hits, 4 walks, 11 strikeouts. Drew Slominski stepping in, and the first one is way wide. Knutson backhand stop. You've got a runner at first base for Benilde. They lead it 6-0. Throw to first, and we do have a pinch runner over there, Pat Nelson. All right, Hander Schwanz shooting a strike.
You know, with a 6-run lead, it gives you so many options. I mean, you can put the runner in motion, and
Knutson ranging out again, a great stop.
Yeah, he's been busy back there. A lot of balls in the dirt and wide pitches, and he's able to stop pretty much everything.
To short, Budarak to Murky for one, relay to first in time. Third double play turned by Maple Grove, and another nice one, but the damage is done. 4 runs in the inning for Benilde on 3 base hits, 1 error, and 1 left aboard. It's 6-0 Red Knights.
Tune in for Northwest Cities on Channel 12. It's a show about shopping, working out, music, fresh produce, having a nice fire in the backyard, going for a swim, a night out with your neighbors, cleaning up the neighborhood, redeveloping the neighborhood, playing a little golf, improving your drive to work, volunteering, picking up a good book. Really, Northwest Cities is a show about everything that is your life right here in the Northwest suburbs. Northwest Cities, right after 12 news at 22 and 52 minutes past the hour, only on Channel 12.
Having Channel 12 news to check in with on a daily basis is wonderful because they keep you up to date on the things that are happening in the city, things that are important to our citizens. And then they're good about covering City Hall and the events that happen here. If there's a special report from the police department, they're there right away when we need that too. You know, and if we're watching this on a daily basis, 20 minutes, half an hour out of your day watching Channel 12 News is going to be a benefit for you and for your city too.
6-0 lead for Benilde St. Margaret's here as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Eric Norgren, Matt Buderak, Mitch Brecky scheduled to hit for Maple Grove. They're going to need a rally much like Benilde had in game 1 if they're going to pull this one out. However, for Maple Grove, they have had just 1 base hit against Matt Nelson so far. And a foul tip.
You know, I said it in the first game that when Benilde was down that they had to take it 1 run at a time. They're not going to be able to put up 6 easily. I mean, they came back, scored 4, and then followed it up with a few more runs and went on to win the game. And I think Maple Grove needs to be thinking that. I mean, 1 swing of the bat, no matter how many people are on base, is not going to take care of it. You just have to keep hitting the ball solid and scoring runs.
Norgren reached on an error his first time up. Rip and a miss, and down he goes on strikes. Boy, I tell you, obviously they've scored 6 and everything, but I think Nelson has been the story of the game for Benilde. A guy that, you know, people kind of wondering, well, who's going to pitch this game? And they've used up a lot of pitching over the last few days, but so far, no problem. Eddie Dragg is going to bat here for Buderak. He pinch hit for him in the first game as well. Rip and a miss.
They just seem to be not picking up his pitches. I mean, wherever they are, fastball, curveball, they just don't seem to be picking it up now. This is impressive.
Nelson is really looking command throughout. Oh boy, 3 in a row. Swings and misses by Dragg, and there are 2 outs.
And it's even more impressive going back to think, you know, you had Wall and you thought he was the #1, but then he comes in and he's pitching one heck of a game. I mean, against probably one of the better hitting teams in the state.
Down in the dirt for ball 1, Brecky, who was a strikeout victim his first time up. 6 Ks in the game for Nelson so far. Brecky lifting it out to short center. Delorier back on the grass will make the catch, and a 3-up, 3-down inning. No runs, no hits, no one left for Maple Grove. We have played 5, and it's 6-0 Benilde St. Margaret's.
This looks like a job for the Channel 12 Sports Jam guys, Super John and Jay Wonder.
To the jam car, Jay Wonder.
Able to cover all of your favorite area high school sports in a single show, the Sports Jam guys bring you the most heroic highlights and incredibly intense interviews every week, Monday through Wednesday at 3:30, 7 and 10.
Holy home run, Super John.
Join Super John and Jay Wonder every week on Sports Jam, Monday through Wednesday, for the continuing adventures of the Sports Jam guys, only on Channel 12.
You're watching Channel 12.
Sorry to interrupt, but I've got great news. Put an iWatch 12 window cling on your car and win prizes from Broadway Pizza in Robbinsdale and the Grand Rios Indoor Water Park Hotel of Brooklyn Park. Experience the twists and turns of Minnesota's largest indoor water park. The Grand Rios Hotel also has restaurants, banquet facilities, and a huge arcade. Get your cling from Channel 12 staff by calling our studios or going to 12.tv. And by the way, thanks for watching.
Here we go to inning number 6. Koval, Lang, Tranvik, the 8-9-1 hitters for Benilde St. Margaret's, trying to win their first section title. And the first pitch is drilled into right center for a base hit by Koval. Koval walked with the bases loaded last time. This time starts the inning with a single, and Bennett Lang will be the hitter.
Benilde just seems to have turned things on after the 5th inning of last game. They've just been on fire.
See a runner for Benilde here as Zeman will come out to run for Koval.
base runner at second base is number 18, Alex Zeman.
Lang would like to change his fortunes here tonight. You see, and he drops down a bunt on a pitch that was very much in at him. Schwanz will throw to first base, and they get the out.
Coach is going to be pleased with that one. That ball was tailing in. And that pretty much came right in on the hand of that barrel.
Good bat control there, got it down. Renvik will be the batter here for Benilde, and again, you still keep playing to tack on. You just never know. Look at last game.
You see the Maple Grove outfield sprinting to do the shift, and Corey Nelson went a good 15 yards towards left field.
Driven out to center, and this will actually be Brecky making the catch, the right fielder. He was almost directly behind second base making that grab.
That'd be a heck of a play if he was playing in right field, but they had him positioned pretty well. If I remember right, they do that again for Delorier, and they don't expect him to pull the ball.
You look, Nelson could have gotten to this one too, but Brecky was in a much better spot and also in a better throwing angle if needed.
This is the biggest shift I've ever seen. I mean, you look at Mitch Brecky, he's almost just off of center field. He's more towards center field than right center field.
Delorier dribbling it foul at the plate. He is 2 for 3 here in this ball game.
See, that's the right fielder. Playing just a shade off of center field. But it's worked out pretty well so far tonight. I mean, the last one was hit pretty much right in between Nelson and Brecky.
Hard hit, and it'll scoot through for a base hit. Might score a run. Here comes the throw from Nelson. There's a play. No. Now Knutson throwing down to second. Not in time. Another run. 7-0 Benilde as Delorier delivers the base hit.
You know, the shift actually paid off pretty well that time. Nelson coming in full stride right at him. That was a great throw, right on line. A little bit up the third base line, but.
And Delorier sliding in, kind of a little bit of a cheap shot from Murky there, trying to knock him off the bag. He was already in safely, and Weisenberger will be the hitter now for Benilde. Starts him with a strike. He's had a big night as well here. Single, double, driven in 3. Well, it was almost unthinkable when the night started, but if you're Benilde, you might start to kind of think about, you know, we could possibly 10-run this team. There are 2 outs, however, here.
But with Weisenberger and Bigham waiting on deck, it is a possibility. Yeah, but it was definitely unthinkable when the night started.
Inside with that one.
Good hitters count here. You got to be expecting a fastball, and he's a 3-hitter. I think he's going to have a green light all the way.
Tapping it to second. Murky up with it. And they'll get out of trouble here, but Benilde does add 1 more run. 1 run, 2 hits. No errors and 1 left aboard. The lead now at 7-0 Benilde St. Margaret.
Dear Journal, today was another great day in the northwest suburbs. I visited a new business, met interesting people, took a closer look at the community, and went about town attending events and activities.
Wait a minute. This is way too good to keep to myself. I have to tell everyone.
Community Journal is your show to find out what's new in our community. It's on Channel 12 every day at 8 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 6 p.m. Community Journal, your tour guide for what's happening in our community.
Maybe we don't need to tell you, because you know Channel 12 is community television. That's right. Every day when you watch us, you see your community in action here in the northwest suburbs. The big game at your high school, the local business down the block, a new development in your city, or what happened in the day's news. For your convenience, all of our shows are repeated throughout the day, right here on Northwest Community Television's Channel 12. We are what community television is all about.
Nelson.
Nice crowd on hand here at Parade, and the fans in the third base side are going to be a little more excited, at least so far. 7-0 Benilde St. Margaret's. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Couple chances left for Maple Grove. Now, if you say this is impossible, though, you look back just a couple hours ago, and Benilde was down 7-1 in the same spot and came back to win. That's what Maple Grove has to be thinking, but they have just not done much at all against Matt Nelson. And looks at ball one. Corey Nelson does, that is. There's a strike. I don't know. I don't have the same feeling, though, that Maple Grove was on the verge of breaking through like I thought maybe Benilde was last time. I'm not going to say I would have predicted that they'd come up and get 9 runs. But, oh, what a play by Slominski. Throws him out.
Wow. Cat-like reflexes over there. Then to get up and throw a laser over to first base is just an everyday play for him.
I was going to say, come on, Drew, you can smile a little bit. That is special.
He even had time to let the first baseman get in position. That's great. That was a great play.
Lenton will step in, and you really start to feel like it's your night when those wind up as outs, too, because that one, by all rights, should have been a base hit for Corey Nelson, but Slominski wasn't going to concede anything. That's the type of play that even if he just knocks it down and doesn't get him out, you say, hey, pretty good job.
Yeah, but that ball was hit very hard. You know, I mean, he even had to make a couple steps to his left to field that ball, and it may have helped him, because if it's hit at him, you might want to have the tendency to move out of the way, but if you're able to just stick that glove out there.
Look at Lenton rattling Weisenberger's teeth a little bit with that foul ball, and a rip and a miss. Maple Grove certainly pressing a little bit now, too, and Nelson has them in hand. It looks like Kyle Knutson will be the batter.
High heat was just under it. Chased the high heat on a pitcher's count. Yeah, Matt Nelson just seems to have everything going for him. I mean, he's working the inside and the outside with the fastball and the curveball, and they just seem, Maple Grove just seems like they're not picking it up.
Drilled foul by Kyle Knutson, who's been held pretty well in check here. I guess the whole lineup has been, though, by Nelson. Knutson a line out to center on a very hard hit ball, but then struck out in the 4th. Drives it foul.
You know, Jay, coming into tonight, we heard so much about Brian Morgan and Alex Wall, and then Matt Nelson comes in to start the biggest game of the season for Benilde after they pulled off that comeback victory.
Another rope, but foul.
And he's just been changing speeds, hitting locations, and I mean keeping Maple Grove off the bases.
And there's a called third strike. Knutson is tossed out of the ball game.
Just not good, and throwing the bat at the dugout. He's very fortunate Patrick Lenton caught that bat, or somebody could have been seriously injured in that situation. He literally just threw the bat without even looking, and Patrick Lenton, it was a great catch. Somebody could have been severely injured there.
Crimson go down in a hurry in the 6th. Through 6 complete, it's 7-0 Benilde.
Here's a heads up on what you'll find at Channel 12's website, 12.tv.
It's where you get recent local news stories.
And a link to AccuWeather for up-to-the-minute forecasts.
Keep up with your city's government and click on links to each of them.
See who's on your favorite shows this week or who will be on in coming weeks.
And our schedules for area high school sports.
Plus, there's info for all kinds of great events here in the Northwest suburbs.
Stay connected to your community at 12.tv and remember to spell it out. 7:30 p.m.
It's a good time for Channel 12 events.
An event like this doesn't happen every day.
But it does happen every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Catch all your favorite local sports and community events from the Northwest suburbs every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday at 7:30 p.m. right here on Channel 12.
Just one station brings you local sports and community events every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Channel 12.
7:30 p.m. It's quite an event.
And welcome back to Parade Stadium. Inning number 7. Benilde St. Margaret's will have their 4, 5, 6 hitters coming up. And it is all Benilde right now after they came back to win game 1 9-7. They are in command. Colin O'Rourke now the catcher for Maple Grove after Kyle Knutson was ejected for reacting to that 3rd strike. Bigham a single and a couple of walks here for the Red Knights, and he takes a strike from Ben Schwantz. There's O'Rourke. Not really the way he wanted to to be a part of this game, but he'll come out and do his best here. Strike 2.
You know, as a fan, you really don't want to see a team lose its cool like that, and it's just bad sportsmanship. You'd like to see them, you know, try hard, go down. If they're going to lose with respect to the other team playing a great game. If you're unhappy about the call, that's something you have to deal with later. And I mean, you don't do it. You know, an umpire is out there doing his job too, and
Bigham a rip and a miss, and down he goes on strikes.
It's just something you don't want to see, and I think when they see professional athletes do that kind of stuff, they think, you know what, hey, it's not that big of a deal. Why don't I do it? But it just gives a bad image to younger kids.
First strikeout there for Schwantz. Campion the hitter. And this could be playable. Norgren coming over, and he will make the catch, and there are quickly 2 outs.
Nice catch by Norgren, headed towards the fence and with the dugout in a field that he's not very familiar with. I mean, if he's at Maple Grove, he knows how much room he has, but here at Parade, he's not. There's so much is going on, and it's so quick. And I mean, the fence and a dugout is nothing that he's going to be able to deal with, but that was a good catch.
Ryan Morgan, the batter now for Benilde. Ball 1 up high. I know John Jacobson mentioned it in our Section 5 softball tournament championship. Kind of somewhat of a similar spot where you kind of don't really mind getting out in a hurry here in the top of the 7th. You want to get your pitcher back out there and see if you can't finish him off.
Yeah, especially with the 7-run lead. I mean, if it was a 3 or 4-run lead, maybe you'd be thinking different. But a 7-run lead, I think you're in great shape. I mean, you're not going to just give it to them right now because Maple Grove can hit, and from what we saw in the first game, you never know. But 7-run lead headed into the bottom of the 7th is a pretty steep hill to climb.
So strike to Morgan. He had a big hit last time up, knocked in 2 with a single. That's ball 4, gets away, but Morgan will head down to first. Slominski will bat now for Benilde. Runner at first, 2 outs, top of the 7th. They're up already 7-0. One more at bat for Maple Grove. All that stands between Benilde and its first trip to state. That one will get past O'Rourke, and Morgan down to second.
Yeah, you can definitely tell the fans are feeling it. They're just waiting to celebrate with this Benilde St. Margaret's team, their first trip to state. And there are quite a few Red Knight fans here.
Big swing and a miss there by Drew Slominski. Well, he had that fantastic play at third base. He's yet to get a hit here tonight, though, and you'd like to remedy that here in this, what it figures to be his last at bat of the night, of course. Drives it to right, but Brecky coming on and will make the catch. So well hit, but it isn't out. No runs, no hits, no errors, one left aboard. Here we go, bottom of the 7th inning. Nelson will try and finish it off for Benilde St. Margaret's.
This looks like a job for the Channel 12 Sports Jam guys, Super John and Jay Wonder.
To the Jam car, Jay Wonder.
Able to cover all of your favorite area high school sports in a single show. The Sports Jam guys bring you the most heroic highlights and incredibly intense interviews every week, Monday through Wednesday at 3:30, 7 and 10.
Holy home run, Super John.
Join Super John and Jay Wonder every week on Sports Jam, Monday through Wednesday, for the continuing adventures of the Sports Jam guys, only on Channel 12.
12 News is an easy way to get information. They replay their broadcasts when it's convenient for you, and they will always be honest and fair in their reporting and do a great job covering cities like Plymouth. And you don't get a lot of the other news media that'll come and talk about the good things going on in the communities. Channel 12 News will often call me here at City Hall to find out what's going on, what's on our agendas, and what's happening in the community. So if you want to know the up-to-date information, Channel 12 News is there to cover it.
Watch 12 News every day.
Bottom of the 7th inning, Benilde up by a touchdown on Maple Grove here. Crimson one last opportunity. Boy, they're going to feel like one slipped through their fingers in game one, of course. They were up 7-1 and Benilde rallied on them. Maple Grove will have Murky, Delgado, and Jarvis. And Matt Nelson will try and finish off what would be the game of his life. Already is, but coming in and is less heralded, I guess, that you'd say, than Wall and Morgan, but he's had a fantastic performance here on the hill. Murky swings at the first pitch, lifting one to short center. This will be trouble, and it's going to fall in.
I don't think Tranvik saw that one. You saw him put his hands up a little bit. And it would have been a tough play either way, but with his speed, he's usually able to cover quite a bit of ground. But I don't think he saw that one. Maybe lost it in the lights or just didn't see it off the bat.
Delgado, the hitter now for the Crimson. There's ball one. Foul back and out of play. One must have made contact with a car.
That sounded pretty solid. Hopefully it was like the bus, or I think we would have found out if it was a truck, but we've been informed the TV truck is safe.
2-1 count. And there's a strike. Runner is going. That one slipped out of Nelson's hand, it looked like. Murky moves up. The defensive indifference there. No stolen base. Full count. Foul past third from Delgado.
You know, this has been one heck of a day for Benilde, being able to win that first game and up 7 runs, 3 outs away from going to state for the first time. But Maple Grove should not.
Just got a piece of that one.
Maple Grove should not, hang their heads too low. They had a great season. It's not over right now, but I mean, if this game does end up in Benilde's favor, Maple Grove was the team to knock off the entire season in many people's eyes. They came into the season, they lived up to all the hype, and they played well.
Rep foul and out of play.
Sounds like it was another car, 2 and 1 at bat.
Delgado still hanging in here against Nelson. And a little tapper to the mound. Nelson up with it. He'll go to first base. They'll get the out. Runner advances over to third, Murky. And Jeff Jarvis will be up for Maple Grove. They would like to at least break the shutout, but every out puts Vanille a step closer to the state tournament.
Yeah, Murky's the least concerned for Vanille right now. He can do whatever he wants. He could probably steal home right now, and I don't think they'd be really concerned about it.
Jarvis wrapping it off his leg.
You know, Jay, I would be interested. I'm pretty sure Maple Grove has 2 losses this entire season. They came late in the season, but I would assume they haven't been shut out this entire 3 losses. I would assume they haven't been shut out this season, or.
I believe you are correct here. Uh-oh, someone got hit down there.
And cruising through the regular season the way they did, it's just got to be frustrating to see their teammates not being able to put runners on base and take advantage of it.
You are right, never shut out this year. There's a foul down the right field line for Jarvis as he continues to hang in there. And a little dribbler. This will be a tough play. They will not get an out. Run does not score. Murky held up. Not really sure why, but I guess it doesn't matter. That'll be an infield hit for Jarvis.
And the 2 base runners here, they still haven't hit the ball solid. You know, the one Tranvik lost in the lights or wasn't able to track down right away, and you know, they get that one just found a spot in the infield where they weren't able to.
Norgren, the hitter. They, of course, will not hold with Jarvis here. And back to the mound. Oh, he's going to go to second. They'll get 1, and that's all they'll get. And Maple Grove taking no chances. Murky stayed at third on the play. Jarvis is out.
And the Benilde crowd is getting prepared to celebrate with their team.
Matt Buderak will be the batter re-entering, or he did re-enter after Drag hit for him. All the students are making their way down. They're not leaving, they're heading toward the field. First pitch over for a strike. Matt 0 for 1 tonight. That one wide of the plate.
Yeah, I don't think anybody expected this kind of game out of Nelson. I mean, he comes in as probably their 3rd starter, but he looks like they're number 1 right now.
Back up the middle, he knocks it down, and here it is. Benilde St. Margaret's into state for the first time ever. Nelson spinning a shutout as the Red Knights sweep 2 from Maple Grove. The huge comeback in game 1, and they were pretty much in command in game number 2 as Nelson, a 3-hit shutout, and the Red Knights are moving on to the state tournament where they'll play the Section 8 champion, either Alexandria or Sartell, on the 16th at 12:30 p.m. at Midway Stadium in St. Paul. Quite an evening for this team. Things couldn't have worked out much better for them. They fall behind, they get the huge comeback, And then game 2, they look like a well-oiled machine here. They had the momentum from game 1, and Nelson made sure they never gave it back.
Yeah, they Nelson was virtually untouchable. He had it working every part of the plate, throwing different pitches and keeping Maple Grove off balance. It was an impressive performance from Matt Nelson to shut this Maple Grove team out, and it was quite a day for the Red Knights.
Well, you talked about it earlier too. A great season for Maple Grove, and they had one slip through their fingers in game 1, and they'll end up having to settle for the runner-up spot. We will come back to hear from some happy Benilde guys, no doubt, here in just a few moments. Your final score in the Section 5 championship: Benilde 7, Maple Grove nothing. We'll be right back.
Just down the block or around the corner or on the other side of town, there's a new business or maybe even an older business you've heard about and want to know more. Community Journal takes you inside to find out what makes these local businesses tick and what they have to offer you. We also discover what some truly interesting people are up to around your neighborhood and take a closer look at what's happening with your city, plus lots of great stuff happening about town. So tune in and join me, Dave Kaiser, on Community Journal every day at 8, 12:30, and 6 p.m.
You're watching Channel 12.
Sorry to interrupt, but I've got great news. Put an iWatch 12 window cling on your car and win prizes from Broadway Pizza in Robbinsdale and the Grand Rios Indoor Water Park Hotel of Brooklyn Park. Experience the twists and turns of Minnesota's largest indoor water park. The Grand Rios Hotel also has restaurants, banquet facilities, and a huge arcade. Get your cling from Channel 12 staff by calling our studios or going to 12.tv. And by the way, thanks for watching.
What a night for Benilde St. Margaret's and all the Red Knights fans. They sweep a doubleheader from Maple Grove. Huge comeback in game 1 and then a shutout in game 2 to go to state for the first time ever. And with Mike Deloria, it doesn't get a whole lot better than this, does it? I mean, how do you top this?
You can't write it up any better than this, you know. I mean, if you'd have told me like we'd be down 7-1 in the 6th inning of the first game, I would have said it's over. But, you know, we plugged away and got at it and got the W. So.
Yeah, what were you guys talking about at that point? They had their ace on the mound and, like you said, the big lead, but did everybody still feel like, you know, okay, we've still got a shot?
I mean, we knew if we got to him, they'd crumble. And, you know, we got to him, got a couple runs, and made him make the plays, and we got big hits when we needed them, and just momentum carried over and strung some runs together.
You guys have had pretty good baseball teams the last couple of years too, but this year you put it all together. Go to state for the first time in school history. How big is that for you guys?
Yeah, we're very senior loaded, so you know these are guys lied last year, and you got to get it done this year, you know. And yeah, we've kind of last couple of years we've gotten farther and farther into the playoffs, and you know culminated into this, you know, showdown today. So. It was worth it.
Now, conventional wisdom would say that you used up too much pitching and you wouldn't have any in this game, but talk about the job that Matt did tonight.
Well, Matty came in the second game, hadn't started he started the first section game, but hasn't pitched a whole lot this year. He came in and threw the gem of his career, you know, kept a great hitting team to 0 runs all game, and you can't ask for more than that. He was the MVP tonight, so.
All right, congratulations. Great win here, Mike, and good luck in the state tournament.
Thank you.
That's Mike Deloria, and the guy who threw the shutout here in game number 2. How exciting is this for you to pick up this win and shut out a good team like this?
Oh, it's really exciting. I haven't pitched a lot, and this was just really exciting for me. I didn't expect to come in and pitch, but it was great.
You guys had to end up using Morgan quite a bit in game 1. Coming into the evening, did you think you'd even get on the mound tonight?
Not really. I thought I might relieve if someone got into trouble, but Coach Collins came up and told me that I'd probably be pitching the second game, so it worked out. I'm happy about it. So.
What worked so well for you out there? It seemed like you had them kind of off stride all night long.
Yeah, actually, my great catcher, Adam Weisenberger, is calling the pitches for me. Moving the fastball in and out worked well, and then we throw an off-speed pitch every once in a while, so it worked great for me. But
I don't think there was any doubt that this was 2 pretty good baseball teams coming in, but the way it happened, with the comeback in game 1 and everything, could you have ever dreamed of such a big night?
No, I don't even know what to say about that. It was just amazing for me sitting out there after the game. When they all ran out, I couldn't believe it. So.
Well, you've played some of the best teams in the state. Teams like Cretin, a team like Maple Grove was considered one of the best. What are your chances now in the tournament?
We're hoping to go all the way. We know there's some tough competition, and they've knocked off some good competition to get into the state tournament. So we're just hoping to do our best, I guess.
All right, nice job here tonight. As Mike said, the gem of your career. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, that's Matt Nelson, who threw this shutout for Benilde in game number 2 to secure the section championship. as they win it 7-0 here in this second game. Again, it will be Benilde taking on the Section 8 champion Alexandria or Sartell coming up Midway Stadium, 12:30 p.m. on the 16th of June. Hope you've enjoyed all of tonight's action in Game 1 and Game 2. They've been a couple pretty good ones. Benilde St. Margaret's headed to state for the first time ever by sweeping Maple Grove. For Drew Pio and the rest of our crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. So long from Parade Stadium.